And now it's time for an operation. We can make this soup warmer, it's -3 degrees right now, if we add hot cubes to it. Add our positive cubes, our positive temperature. Let's go ahead and add 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now what's the temperature of my soup? Let's stir it all together. Well, first we have to recognize that when we have a hot and a cold cube together, this actually doesn't change the temperature at all because we have adding 1 degree and subtracting another degree. So this is like a 0. Let's see how many of those we have. Well, we had 3 cubes, blue cubes originally, so we can match 3 of our red cubes with those 3 blue cubes, and we have 2 left over. The temperature of my soup now is a positive 2 degrees. Because addition is commutative, you can actually put the 5 hot cubes in first and then add the 3 cold cubes, the 3 negative cubes, and you would get the same answer. Let's talk about what commutative is.
Adding socks is commutative. You get the same result whether you add the right sock or the left sock first. So say we add the right sock, then we put on the left sock, pair of socks. Now what if we added the left sock first? If we put on the right sock second, we get the same result, commutative. And just like adding socks, adding integers is commutative too.
So since it is commutative, let's go ahead and check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 blue cold cubes, our negative temperature cubes. And again, we can match those up. These were worth 0 and we've got 2 left over. So we have 2 positive. So go ahead and build your -3 degree soup first. We've got 3 blue cubes in there. The temperature is -3 degrees. Now, what if we wanted to make this soup even colder? What could we do? Well, if we put in hot cubes, that's just going to make it warmer, but we could add more cold cubes. So let's say we wanted to add 4 cold cubes. I'm going to take 4 cold cubes, put them in here with the 3 cold cubes, and I have a total of 7 cold cubes. The temperature of my soup is -7 degrees. Now here's something I want you to notice. If I had my 3 cold cubes in here, and I had my 5 hot cubes in here, remember that made a total of 2 degrees. Hot, right? Positive. Because if I matched them up right here, those were 0, and these were just the 2 left over. These all give us a 0. So this, in fact, is the same as if I didn't even have these in here, if I just had 2 hot cubes. Let's look at these 2 hot cubes, but let's leave these pairs of cubes in here. So still 2 degrees. These are my 0 pairs in here. So I want you to pause for a minute and think about it. No, really, pause the video.
Seriously, pause the video.
Okay, so maybe some of you came up with it. It's all right if you didn't. But we can actually make this soup warmer by using a different operation. We can use subtraction. We can subtract the cold cubes, the negative cubes, away from this soup to make it warmer. So I could subtract 2 cold cubes from here. Notice that leaves behind part of our 0 pair. So let's say I wanted to make this soup a little bit warmer by subtracting the cold cubes. I'm going to subtract 2 cold cubes. Taking them away. And let's see what we have left. We've got 1 0 pair still here. And then we have 4 hot cubes. So this gives us a temperature, a total temperature of 4 degrees, positive 4 degrees. So what if, instead of making my soup warmer by taking away the cold, I want to make my soup colder by taking away the warm? So let's start with 3 hot cubes. Now let's say we're going to subtract 7 warm cubes. Okay, so if we're subtracting 7, we're taking away 7 warm cubes. Do I have 7 in here to take away? No, I've got 3, and so I'm going to need to put some more in there. Now I can't change the temperature of the soup. I can't just add stuff and say it's the same thing. So I have to add basically 0 degrees, and I can do that, remember, with my 0 pairs. So I can go ahead and put them in there, and I need to take away 7, and so I already have 3, so I'm going to add 4 more 0 pairs, which includes both a cold cube and a hot cube here. And now I can take away 7. I can take away the 3 that were originally there, and I can take away the 4 more, and that makes a total of 7. And the answer to my problem is -4. Okay, so now let's mix up some examples. Our first example is -5 minus 4. So -5 represents our cold cubes. So go ahead and put 5 cold cubes in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to take away 4 hot cubes. Well, we don't have 4 hot cubes. If we add 4 hot cubes, we also have to add 4 cold cubes so that we're not changing the mixture to start out, okay? So we've got 4 hot cubes and 4 cold cubes. We're going to make some 0 pairs here. Oops. Okay, so we've got our 0 pairs here. This did not change the temperature of my soup. My soup is still -5 degrees. These are all 0. They don't add any temperature to that. But now this allows me to take away 4 hot cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hot cubes. And now I can calculate the temperature after I did my operation. So if I look at it, go ahead and stack them. I'll stack them here. You stack yours. And I've got 9 cold cubes. So the answer would be -9. So -5 minus 4, -9. Let's try another example. 6 minus -3. Okay, so 6, that's 6 hot cubes, 6 positive. 6. I'll just stack them so you can kind of see them. 6 minus -3. I have no cold cubes. -3 is my cold cubes. I have no cold cubes to take away, so I need to add some cold cubes in there, but in doing so, I also have to add a hot cube in order to not change the temperature to start out with. Okay, so I moved my 6 hot cubes, my original 6 hot cubes back here, and I added some 0 pairs. Now, I really did nothing to the temperature of this soup. I added a hot and cold cube. I added 3 hot and cold cube pairs. The temperature of this soup is still 6 degrees. So now I'm going to subtract 3 cold cubes, -3. I can go ahead and do that. I can take them away. And I am left with, I've got 6 that I started with and 3 more, 9. 4 plus -5. So I'm going to start off with 4 hot cubes, 4, and then I'm adding -5, which is my cold cubes. I'm going to add 5 cold cubes. So here's 4, 5 cold cubes. I'm taking, since I'm adding them, I can just take them over there, add them in here, and then I can figure out the temperature. Now, in order to figure out the temperature, I want to look and see which one of these are canceling each other out. In fact, I can see that I have more cold cubes, so I know it's going to go the cold direction. If I match them up, these 0 pairs cancel each other out. So I just have 1 cold cube, so my answer would be -1. Let's try another example. Okay, here's a fairly easy one because we're adding again, and adding seems to be a little less tricky because we don't have to add those 0 pairs in. So the question is -2 plus 7. The -2 is going to be my cold cube. So I'm going to start off with -2. And then I'm going to add 7, which are my hot cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Now you can see the 0 pairs here, the ones that cancel each other out. I've got left over, I have 5 hot cubes. And those 5 hot cubes are going to give me a temperature of +5. Let's try some difficult examples, the ones that give the students the most problems, and that's usually when you're subtracting a negative. So we're going to do a few examples so that you can sort of get a feel for it and maybe even come up with a rule that you can use in order to solve these problems. Because really you don't want to pull out your cubes every time you have to do an integer problem. So -3 minus -2. -3 minus -2. So I'm going to be taking away 2 cold cubes. Do I have 2 cold cubes in here? Indeed I do. I can take away those 2 cold cubes, and I have 1. So the answer to that is -1. Let's get a little harder. So let's try -1 minus -6. So let's first make our -1 soup. 1 in there, and then we need to subtract -6. We need to take away 6 cold cubes. Are there 6 cold cubes to take away? No, there's just 1. So we can take away that 1, but then we have 5 more we have to take away. So we're going to go ahead and make some 0 pairs. We're going to add some in here. So that are 0 pairs. That's just, it's still -1 degrees. You've got the 0 there. And I'm going to add 5 of them because I need to take away those 5 cold cubes. So now I've got 5 0 pairs in there. Hopefully you have 5 0 pairs in there as well. And now I can take away 6 cold cubes. I can take away -6. So go ahead and take away -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a hot soup now. And my hot soup is +5 degrees. Let's try another example. 5 minus -3. So 5 says we have 5 hot cubes to make a temperature of 5. 5 hot cubes. And then we need to take away 3 cold cubes. I don't have 3 cold cubes, so I'm going to create some 0 pairs. 3 of them, since I want to take away 3 cold cubes. And now I am able to, the temperature here hasn't changed, still 5 degrees. These really they add no temperature change in here because I have a plus and a minus. So now I can take away my 3 cold cubes, my 3 negative numbers into here, and then I have a total of 8. Let's try -6 minus -1. So -6 tells me I'm going to start with cold cubes. And 6 of them. I've got 6 cold cubes in here. Stack them if you want. 6 cold cubes. And now I need to take away -1, which is 1 cold cube. I can just reach in here. I've already got enough. Take it away. And I have -5. The final temperature of my soup is -5.